Anytime there's a big drop in temperature or a storm coming in, they get crazy. I don't know why this is. If your horse is snorting and their head is straight up in the air and their tail is flipped over their back, those are all signs that they're pretty excited. And so you're definitely not going to want to just get on. Hello everyone, I'm Amelia, and today I'm going to give you some winter riding tips, or I guess rather what you can do on a winter day when you can't ride. So I'm in Southern California, so I'm not really sure that I'm like the best person to be making this video. Let me know in the comments where you live and how cold it gets in the winter. But believe it or not, it was super rainy here yesterday, and so all of our arenas are toast. They're like super muddy and slick, and so we can't ride in the arena. So today I wanted to give you guys a few tips to help you on a day when you can't ride, you don't have good footing, it's super cold, there's a storm, all of those things that happen in the winter and that are really, really frustrating. Also, check out the description below. I'm doing a free groundwork webinar on Sunday, January 8th. So be sure to sign up, RSVP for that, and I'm going to be showing you all of my secrets for groundwork, because you can do so much with your horses on the ground, and it really makes a huge difference when not only you have respect and communication on the ground, but also you can teach a lot of the dressage movements from the ground and save yourself a lot of headache when you're in the saddle. The first thing that's really important to do is to assess. And you want to assess two things. You want to assess your horse and kind of their general state of being, and then you also want to assess the environment. So with horses in general, anytime there's a big drop in temperature or a storm coming in, they get crazy. I don't know why this is, because when it's like rainy, I just want to lay in my bed and curl up by the fireplace. Horses tend to want to like put their tail over their back and run around crazy. So you want to assess your horse's kind of general state. If your horse is like really crazy and they're snorting and their head is straight up in the air and their tail is flipped over their back, those are all signs that they're pretty excited. And so you're definitely not going to want to just get on. So assess your horse's body language. Like Kensington here, he's alert. Like you can tell he's kind of looking around. He is a little bit on the fresh side, because like if I ask him to go, you know, and I kind of like, oh, that's not too bad. But I definitely kind of test out my horse and just see, you know, how they are, how their body language is as I'm coming up with my plan for that day. Oh boy. The other thing that's really important to assess during the winter is your footing. And so a couple of things to know is that if your footing is slick or slippery, that's like the most dangerous. So like out here in the parking lot, it's a little bit hard. Like I wouldn't want to do a ton of trotting or cantering, but when I kind of dig in here, it's pretty firm and my horse isn't going to slip. If your footing is slippery, like if you're limited to icy like snow or to mud, you have to be very, very careful about turning your horse, because anytime you turn your horse on a slippery surface, that's when they can fall down. So if your footing isn't good, you're pretty much limited to straight lines. Things like if I had bad footing, all I would be able to do would be to work on leading my horse, which is good. I mean, I think that the motto for the winter is that something is better than nothing. So I could work on leading my horse, I could work on stopping my horse, I could work on getting my horse to back up, but I couldn't do anything that's bending or turning unless I knew that I had footing that was really good. So that's one thing. The first thing is assessing your situation. Then the second thing is to come up with a plan. And planning, especially in the winter, you have to be very flexible and you have to plan around the weather. So when I look at the week in the winter time, like during the summer, I follow a very normal schedule. Like I ride Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. In the winter, I have to be a little bit more flexible about my days. For example, yesterday it was raining, so none of the horses got out. And today's Wednesday, which is normally a day off, but we're here working the horses. So you have to be able to adjust your plan based on the weather. You also have to be able to adjust your plan based on your horse. So I always recommend doing groundwork. I'm a big fan of doing some groundwork. I usually start out doing my horse on the ground and kind of seeing if I can get them relaxed and focused before getting on. And there might be days where the weather's really bad and all I do is groundwork. That's okay. Like I said, something is better than nothing. But it's always good to take care of things and get your horse focused and relaxed on the ground before you get on them. So what are some things that you can do with your horse on the ground on a day that you maybe can't ride? I showed you a little bit leading. The other thing that you can work on that's really good to work on if your footing is good is work on getting your horse to bend a little and disengage their hindquarters. So the way that you do that is you get your horse first leading around you. So you saw how I kind of led my hand over and then I used the end of my lead rope to drive him around me. Now disengaging the hindquarters, basically what you want is you want your horse's inside hind leg to cross over their outside hind leg, and you want your horse to turn and face up to you. And this is a really important thing to teach your horse. For one, for safety, because you want your horse's hindquarters to move away from you so that you don't get kicked. And it also helps, like if your horse were to get scared of something and try to pull away, that they would then bend and turn and face up to you. Good boy. Good boy. So if you have good footing, I recommend doing some circles, doing some bends. Like you could see there, he got a little bit excited. But because he knows to disengage his hind end, then he didn't pull away from me. So I might work on, you know, like on a cold day, you know, doing some desensitizing work, like slapping the saddle, throwing the lead line over his butt, and working on all the time getting him to bend, getting him to drop his neck. Good boy. And the other way, same thing. You always want to do your groundwork on both sides. So this is a good way to check out your horse and kind of assess how they are on that day before you decide whether or not you're going to ride them. But again, be careful if you don't have good footing, then this isn't a good exercise for you, because your horse can slip when you ask them to turn and bend and disengage their hindquarters. So another really great thing to do on a day that's too bad to ride is just work on hand walking your horse. So when you're working on your horse leading, again, your driving aids are your hand comes forward, you start walking, and then if that doesn't work, you can give a little tap with your lead rope behind your horse's shoulder. To stop, you stop your body, you give a little bump on the halter, and then if that doesn't work, you raise your left hand up and near your horse's eye. So it's really important that you raise this hand up when you want your horse to stop. If you forget to raise your hand up when you stop, then you're just gonna pull your horse on top of you and your horse is gonna cut across in front of you. So that's why you've got to raise your hand up to keep your horse out of your space. I know a lot of horses tend to be like super pushy and just run over the top of people. So if I have a horse that's super pushy, I kind of keep my hand up here and block the horse from going in front of me. Good boy. So that's something that you can play around with as you're just hand walking your horse around, is really making sure that they're focused and on the aids. And then the final thing you can work on is asking your horse to back up. So if you can do this, you can do all of this either with the bridle or with a rope halter. If you have a rope halter on, you're gonna grab hold with your thumb down. You're gonna kind of tighten the noseband around your horse's nose, and then you're just gonna go side to side and ask your horse to back up. Good boy. So the rein back, not only is it just dressage movement, but it also works on submission. It works on getting your horse to engage their hind end and their top line. Boy, so it's a great exercise to practice with your horse. So I hope that this video has helped you to improve your groundwork and give you guys something that you can do on a day when you're not able to ride. Hopefully you don't have too many days like that this winter. But something is better than nothing. So getting your horse out, doing some of this bending, working on leading your horse and getting that connection with your horse on the ground will carry over to under saddle. Also, check out the description below. I'm doing a free groundwork webinar on Sunday, January 8th. So be sure to sign up, RSVP for that. And I'm going to be showing you all of my secrets for groundwork because you can do so much with your horses on the ground. And it really makes a huge difference when not only you have respect and communication on the ground, but also you can teach a lot of the dressage movements from the ground and save yourself a lot of headache when you're in the saddle. So thanks for watching. Give this a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you in the next video.